My kids are totally different from me. They take their clothes and have their mama wash it. I'm not doing that, baby. Oh no! I wish.
No.
Listen, I hope my kids watch this interview.
See, throwing shade.
I hope you request me to wash your clothes.
Hey y'all, it's your girl T Pretty Smile in the building, and we're here today with two wonderful guests that we have, and I'm so excited. And we're gonna dive in because we got a very interesting guest with some topics that's gonna blow your mind today. So we're gonna start with, we have Miss Social Secret, Miss Secret in the building today, visiting with us. Tell me a little bit about you, Miss Social Secret.
Well, hello, real raw. Let's talk. First of all, thanks for having me, T Pretty Smiles.
Problem.
She lives up to her name, y'all. Okay.
So silly.
I am the Social Secret Bridgewater. That is my real name. We were just talking about that.
Okay, that's
I am secret, but I'm not quiet. That's what I tell people.
I like that.
I'm secret, but I'm loud. You gonna hear me, baby. Okay.
I like that.
I do social media. I do event reporting. I'm a publicist. I like to do marketing, and I do it for small businesses, and I love it.
So holla at my girl.
Boop, boop, boop.
Now we also have another special guest in the building, Mr. Paul Hunter, the author, the entrepreneur. Mr. Paul, we're finna dive in with you today. Tell me a little bit about you, and don't tell them a whole lot, because we gotta dive in with you.
I know you have to dive in, but my story is amazing. So I give you a little hint. I am the 19th child out of 21 children.
Wow.
That my mom birthed.
Amazing.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's an intro itself.
That's it.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, y'all a lot and a little at the same time. Okay. So today, y'all, we want to talk about family. I want to talk about a lot, and a lot comes with family. It comes with trials, tribulations. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced a lot of different things being the 19th of 21. So we're gonna dive in and pick at you, Mr. Paul.
Go right ahead and pick at me because I'm ready to tell my story.
Yes. So first of all, you're being 19 of 21. Like, I don't know what you secret. I got one.
I have 5 children. But hearing your story, I need to just shut up and eat my food. Because 21, I have 5, and I'm always like, oh my God, this is so hard. Girl.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. So tell me more. So, first of all, how do you find your own identity? And I know we talked about this earlier, but I wanted you to share that with people, because I can't imagine. I'm not gonna say I can, because I can't imagine being with so many sisters and brothers, because I can't stand the 2 I have. So no, I love y'all, but how is it finding your identity and just being amongst so many sisters and brothers?
Well, let me say this first. My mother is an amazing mother. She is the first woman in the world to birth 21 natural children by my dad. So you got to understand, there was a lot of bumping going on in the Hunter family house. But if you ever do the math, ladies and gentlemen, my mother stayed pregnant for 15 straight years. So she is a true champion.
She really
champion.
Is. That lady deserves an award.
17 of us living today. 63 grandchildren and 87 great-grandchildren. So I want your viewers and listeners to know, don't you mess with the Hunter family, because if you pick on one, you have to fight all. We're coming for you. Yes, we are.
Okay.
That's an army.
They say, look, I'm getting my sister with, look, all of them coming.
Oh my
the whole family lining up. Okay.
I can imagine family reunions. What do you get it catered?
No, we just
everybody
every 4th of July we always get together for the family reunion, and we just have a good time. But let me piggyback on what you said about finding your identity. In a big family like this, it was very difficult because I had my mother, I had my father, and I also had my siblings. We all are trying to find who we are as people. And the way I found myself is that I was able to be around strong men, strong women, and the community was there. And I was able to find myself as a person. That's the reason why I'm here on your platform telling my story, because it is an amazing story. I found my identity. I'm a loving person. I'm a kind person. I'm out there in a community engaging into men and women lives, especially at risk youth, because they need to hear a story like me.
That's so true. That is so true. Now I can just imagine, like we're in society and it's hard to catch your identity. It's hard to find out, I don't want to be like this person, but yet I'm scared to be myself. And, like you said, a lot of kids go through that. I do want to ask you something. Like, what advice would you give to a young person or at-risk person or someone who's trying to find their own identity?
I think the best advice that I can give them is always cultivate a spirit of determination. Always cultivate a spirit of giving back to the community, because it's not about you, it's about other people. And when you create a spirit of helping other young men and women, you will do better, you will feel better, you will smile, and you will enjoy your life.
No, that's some deep words.
Yeah, it is.
That's some deep words.
Yeah, it is.
That's some deep
Impactful.
words.
And for you to be so community focused.
Yeah.
Because with a family that big, you would think y'all are your own community, honestly.
Basically.
Yeah, so for you to reach beyond that, it says a lot about you guys and your family values as well.
For sure. Like, I wouldn't even, I'll be done with, like, my family.
Yeah,
like, I ain't trying to do extra because I got enough going on.
I don't have anything for you guys.
That's you, right? I ain't got no more to pour, and I'm done. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, being 19 of 21, and you said how many are still living?
17 of us living today.
Wow. That's beautiful. I mean, I know some are gone, but to still have 17, like there's so many people passing away these days or living, and you still have 17 sisters and brothers to go to. Yep. And y'all all still get along and talk to each other.
We all get along. We still communicate. I try to reach out to my brothers and sisters once a week just to hear their voice, because a lot of my brothers and sisters, they remind me of my mom a lot, and also of my dad. Because, see, my dad died when I was 8 years old. I have to say that. And so my brothers and sister played an instrumental role in developing me to what I am today. So I am really grateful for my siblings, and I learn a lot from my siblings. I learn, that they are not perfect. They fail, but I was able to look at their failures and their mistakes and say, I can't do that. So I really appreciate them for failing and making mistakes, because I was able to look at it and say, I cannot take that road.
Wow.
Saved you the trouble.
Yep.
Right.
I'm curious, how long does it take to check up on your siblings? Do you set out time in your day every day to check on everybody?
No. If
do you have a group text?
We have a group text, but if I have the urge, like I wanted to call my sister Bonnie, and I was at work yesterday. I was at work, so I was thinking about my sister Bonnie. Do you know she called me when I was thinking about her?
Wow.
I love when moments
y'all
like
really connected.
Yeah. That really blew my mind, that I was thinking about my sister Bonnie, and she ended up calling me, and we had a great conversation. She told me that she loved me. I told her I love you, and I told her thank you for blessing me. It's just the love is there. It really is there.
That's love. Like, and especially for y'all to be so entwined with one another, because again, there's so much hate and so much a lot of difference that goes on between siblings. Like, I can just imagine the chaos, a house with that many kids. Like,
Yes.
was always arguing. Like I said, I got 2 brothers, and it was always arguing going on somewhere. So just to imagine that y'all went through, like, what are some of the things? That's what I want to know too. What are some of the things that you experienced as a child and being with so many siblings?
Well, let me say this. My mother was pregnant with the 14th child. They were living in a 2-bedroom house at that particular time. One day, the sheriff came knocking at the door. They gave my mother 72 hours, and my father 72 hours to vacate. My mother and father went to church, prayed with the pastor, prayed with the members, and the next day, a miracle happened. A miracle happened the next day. A man came knocking at the door, and he wanted to show my mom and dad an 18-bedroom house. He literally drove my mom and dad to go see this 18-bedroom house. And that man said, this house is yours. The only thing that I want from you is $1. Do you know my mom and dad did not have $1? That man went into his wallet, gave my mom and dad that $1 so they can purchase this home. And that home was the home that I was born in. So my life story, yes, in my siblings' life story is about tragedy, but it also deals with miracle. It also deals with faith. It also deals with hardship, but it also tells you you should never have the spirit of never giving up. And a lot of people have the spirit of giving up. You shouldn't have that spirit of giving up, because today it's light, but tomorrow or at night it's going to be dark. But always remember, the sun will shine, and God has shined on the Hunter family many times after trials and tribulations.
Man,
that's beautiful.
That makes me feel like anything I'm going through, like,
right,
ain't nothing.
Yeah, when you see other people's story, it does inspire you.
It really does,
and it makes you grateful for what you going through, what you consider as a hardship. It's kind of like, well, I mean, you know,
facts.
I can only imagine being a mom, being pregnant for 15 years. Oh my! That lady deserves a medal. She's an Olympic award medalist.
You know, I'm glad that you said that, because when I talk to women and I tell them my mom birthed 21 children by my dad, they always, like 21. Are you sure she didn't adopt? No, she did not adopt.
That's a lot of love. That is a lot of love.
Then they say, what about your dad? Oh, my dad, I tell them, my dad passed away when I was 8 years old. And then they say, oh, wow, I wish your dad was here. And I was like, why? So I can date him.
Oh my!
Because your dad was a good lover.
Apparently, yeah. Because I don't know any woman who would continue unless there's some real love there. There's love.
Like, honestly, get off me.
Yeah,
get off me. All right, so today, y'all, I'm here with Flamboyant Candle Co. So, Miss Flamboyant Candle Co., tell us a little bit more about your business in making candles. How long have you been making candles?
Okay, so Flamboyant Candle Co. started in 2021, after the little pandemic scare, kind of at the end of it, I needed something to do. I prayed on it, girl. That was my answer.
Okay.
Make candles, and that's what I did.
I like it. So what are some of your, favorite scents that you made so far?
Oh, I like all of them. I like the mahogany pink one. I like my springtime serenity, my good morning sunshine. I like my key lime pie and
key lime pie,
like the dessert is so good.
Really? That's great.
I like different scents.
Really? So do you do scents that have something to do with I know some people make scents that kind of they're like lavender, that's with headaches. Different things like that. So do you do different remedies that kind of
I have amber lavender right now at my table, and that's good for relaxation. Just feeling on good energy, good vibe. something you can use whether you're meditating, reading, or in the bath. I have I have sage and things like that as well, but I also have like some cologne synthesis. And those are good, they're light, but they also bring the mood down, so you don't have like a party going on.
Okay.
So you like, some people like
a vibe, like just a little calm vibe. Yes. So you do something like bubble bath, like if you want to just have that like peace and serenity.
Correct.
I like that.
I have desserts, floral scents, fruity scents. I have cologne scents, aromatherapy scents. I have a variety.
So what size? Do you have some today? What sizes do you offer? Like
so, these right here are my 7 ounces. I do 7 ounces, 11 ounces, and 14 ounces. I also do wax melts as well. So with the 7 ounces, they're normally $15, and it's not so much because the work I put in is because they last long.
Okay.
So the type of wax I use and the fragrance oils and the essential oils and the wicks, my candles can brand for 35 to 40 hours at least.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I had a customer the other day. I'm like, girl, I got that mahogany teak one you like. She's like, girl, I'm still burning the last candle.
And I know you like to hear that.
She say, she like the long burning ass candle. Sorry, but I'm the exact words.
Yeah.
And I was like so happy to hear that.
That's dope. Like, cause I love candles that I can like burn over and over, especially when it's a good scent, you know. Cause I don't feel like buy another one, you know. I want to hold on to that scent. Look, y'all, get in contact with Flamboyant Co. Candle Co. Okay, look, get it correct. Flamboyant Candle Co. But how can they get in contact with you if they want to buy a candle, even get information on how to start their website? Each one teach one, y'all. That's what we about. So
I do have an online store. It is www.flamboyantcandleco.com. Again, that's www.flamboyantcandleco.com. You can also find me under that alias on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And if you can't find me on Facebook under that name, my real name is Linda Carter. I'm the creator and the owner of Flamboyant Candle Co. My number is 469-875-6305. I do custom orders. Also, by the end of the year, I'm going to be teaching class on how to make candles on YouTube. So, look out for that. I just launched my page on YouTube, so you can actually look at me on YouTube as well. So, there's different channels you can find me on.
Miss Linda's taking over the candle world. Do you hear me? Flamboyant Candle Co. Get at Miss Linda so you can not only she teach you how to do candles later on this year on YouTube, but she's also giving you some nice worthy candles that are going to last you a while. Do get with her, y'all. The candles smell nice. They last a long time. They smell delicious, so get with her most definitely. Now, I want to also dive into your book. You wrote a book, No Love, No Charity, right?
Yes.
I want to start with asking you, what made you title it No Love, No Charity?
No Love, No Charity, the success of the 19th child. I title it that way because my mother is a woman that started the first homeless shelter in the state of Wisconsin, Love and Charity Homeless Shelter. So that was the reason why I title it that way. So my mother, when she was 3 months pregnant with me, and that was in 1970, she birthed not only me, but she also birthed Love and Charity. So I'm part of Love and Charity as well.
Wow, okay.
So there's history there. So my book, it's about rejection to redemption, from hurt to love, from lost to found, from the bottom to the top. Like Drake used to say, you start from the bottom,
now we're here.
Now we here. You start from the bottom, now the whole team is here. And when I'm talking about the whole team, I'm talking about the Hunter family.
Right. That's
because
the team.
we all started from the bottom, and now we are here. Okay. And we don't want you to hate on us. We want you to pray for us.
All right,
because Mama used to always say, prayer changes things.
Okay. All right now.
And it does.
You know what? I didn't come to preach. I came to tell my story.
You giving a word.
And I came to teach.
You giving a word. You definitely giving a word. Now, your mom wrote a book too.
Yes.
And it's called Love and Charity.
Yes.
So, can you dive a little bit in the what's the difference between the books? Because yours is no love, no charity. Hers is love and charity.
Well, my book was written by me in my perspective of how I had a relationship with my mother, with my siblings, with my children, and how I became the first to make history in the Hunter family. When I'm talking about the first, I mean that I made history in the Hunter family by becoming the first to graduate from college. So when I study my father's lineage and I study my mother's lineage, and what I discovered, that no one graduated from college. No one completed college. They attended college, but they never completed. So I was the first one to complete college. Wow. And what I received from Upper Iowa University was a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration in 2012. And so that's what my book deals with, my experience growing up in the Hunter family, and also almost dying in a house fire. But my brother passed away, but I survived. So I'm here for a purpose by the grace of God, or I wouldn't be here with you. So I'm here for a purpose. My mother book deals with her growing up in Vicksburg, Mississippi, dealing with segregation, dealing with the Jim Crow system.
That's a lot there.
Dealing with death, how she had to experience running from the KKK, seeing her cousin get raped by the KKK, seeing her cousin being murdered by the KKK. So my mother's book was written by a former resident of her shelter, Dennis James Woods.
What up, world? It's your girl, T Pretty Smile, host of Real Raw Let's Talk. Now, while you out running around town, I need you to stop by your local Barnes & Noble and pick up No Love, No Charity by Paul Lamar Hunter. Now, it's also on Amazon for those who want to get it quick. Now, Paul talks about overcoming adversity and being the 19th of 21 kids. I said it, 21. Now, you know you got to deep dive into that story. Now, also, I would like you to pick up Louise Hunter, which is his mother. She wrote a book called Love and Charity. Now, that's the life and the story of Louise Hunter and the Love and Charity Homeless Shelter. These are both great books, and I need you guys to go ahead, Amazon it, put it in the cart. Now, go ahead and go to Barnes & Nobles also. Holler at you guys. So, I want to ask you something about birthdays. So, how were birthdays celebrated? I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of cake. Ain't no wrong with a lot of cake. But how were birthdays celebrated?
Birthdays were never celebrated in the Hunter family. What my mom and dad would do, they would give us a kiss, give us $1, give us sometimes 50 cents, and say happy birthday, because we were just poor. But what we had was a lot of love, and we really appreciated, you know, what our mom and dad had did for us, because you know, they had to work, they had to pay bills, and when you have a big family, you know, and the money coming in, you got to sustain that house. You got to make sure electricity is on, you got to make sure gas is on, and you got to make sure food and clothes. But we never got any new clothes. Everything that we received was hand-me-down. And my mom and dad used to always go to the thrift store, and to this day, I go to the thrift store and I find me some amazing stuff.
Nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with
I do too.
Okay.
I do too.
But one thing I can say is that when my siblings started to have kids and we all started to have kids, we might not had a birthday party, but we were able to provide a birthday party for our children. That was the most important thing. See, I tell my kids all the time, you can't relate to me, because you don't know my story. You don't know that we slept on the floor. We you understand that we had to eat beans and cornbread in the morning for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. And remember that old thick government cheese. See, they can't relate to that, and eating on that Spam. So my kids can't relate to it. And so they just blessed not to experience that at all.
Now, there's something I wanted to ask too, especially with you too, Social Secret. Like, um, with coming from the era like you did, like you said, like where I feel a lot of days kids now are very overprivileged, right? Or
Yes.
they don't understand the struggle.
No.
You know,
And,
they don't have to work hard for a lot of things like
not
we
like
used to.
we did.
Right. Now, do you feel being in the experience that you had? Do you feel like it's better to give your kids what you didn't have, or is it better for them to be humble and understand that everything is not going to be given to you, or that they have to work for what they get? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I always told my kids when they were small, anything that you want, you have to work for it, and always be humble. I love my kids, but my kids know my story. But I was glad to be involved in their lives, to teach them to always be humble, always be grateful, and always cultivate a winning attitude. But the reason why I did so much for my kids is because my mother and father couldn't do for me, and I have a good understanding why they couldn't do for me.
Okay.
It was a bigger agenda, and so when I started to have parties for my children, go to events, I was happy. I was really, really happy to go on field trips with my children, to have birthday parties, and let them have sleepovers. In a big family like mine, there's no sleepover happening whatsoever.
Yeah,
none whatsoever.
At all.
So my kids today, they are professionals, and they always walk around very, very humble, because I always taught them to always be humble. Always
I think
be
that's
humble.
something that as a society, as a world, that we need to teach kids these days. Appreciation.
Yes.
Gratitude. I think a lot of kids think that things are just given. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like it's expected.
Entitlement.
Entitlement, yes. I don't think you can take these millennium kids and put them back into, back in the day, or, even back to the 90s. I don't think they would survive. 80s, I don't think they would survive. It's crazy. And I'm speaking even for a party of one. I have one child, and she riding. I know she is, and yes, it's half of my fault. But but would you agree it's different having 5 versus 19?
Very
Patients
different.
are different.
Yes.
I have nieces and nephews, and there's 3 of them. So when mine makes 4, I lose my mind when they get together. I lose it. So
yes, because it's a lot. I lose it a lot. Hey, it's okay. I lose it a lot.
Okay.
I cry too. I am a cry baby, so it gets overwhelming sometimes.
Does.
Even with one. One.
Lord.
It gets, especially with one. I always say one is a lot because they don't have others to bother.
Yes.
So they on you all the time.
Maybe.
But mine, they can just go find a sibling. You better go find one of your siblings. Okay? Go play with somebody.
That part, I totally understand. But when I get just her, sometimes when I get her just by herself, it's beautiful. My patience, I can tell her 5 times to go do one thing. It don't bother me. But let it be more than one child. Girl, didn't I just tell you?
Yes.
Like, did you ever experience like a lot of that with your mom, like patience, neglect? It's too, you felt like you wasn't heard or wasn't seen. What were some of those emotions that you feel? I know there was a lot of love from your sisters and brothers, but from your parents.
Well, I tell people all the time that my mother and father was not perfect, but they were the perfect couple that God had put together. Parents are not perfect. If you talk to my kids, they'll say, my dad is not perfect, but I love him.
Yeah.
But I'm perfect in certain areas. My mother wasn't affectionate. My father was very affectionate. You see where I'm going with this?
Okay.
My father was very loving. We get to sit on my father's lap. When it came to my mother, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
But you got to understand that the history of what my mom experienced, the trauma of growing up in Vicksburg, Mississippi, made her detach her
From
emotions.
emotions.
You understand from her children.
Yeah.
And so it's important to know your family history and why certain people behave in a certain manner.
That's very true.
So I love my mother. I love my father. My mother gave me birth. And so she's not perfect. But like I indicated, she's the perfect person that God created to birth 21 amazing children. Because we all came out healthy, strong, and beautiful.
Wow. I have a question about the organization of the house and chores. How did y'all keep it clean? How did you? Because I'm struggling. Please.
Let me
exactly.
Let me tell you
what
this.
happened.
It's totally different from this generation. My mother on Wednesdays, when we got out of school, will have us clean the house from bottom to top.
Y'all hearing that? My kids are here.
From
Do
bottom
y'all hear this?
to top.
When you say
So on
bottom, you mean
Wednesdays.
baseboards?
From the basement all the way up to the attic.
See.
Now, then on Saturday morning, she will have us get up early, wash clothes, and clean again because we were preparing for a Sunday meal with the pastor, the deacons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because see, if you ever saw the movie Soul Food and how they cooking all the soul food and family members come together, that was a tradition in the Hunter family house.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday. Mom and Dad would be in that kitchen with my older siblings, frying fish, frying chicken, ham hock, greens, cornbread, making chocolate cake, vanilla cake. And then by 10:30, we heading out in those 2 station wagons. And we heading out to church. And by 12:30, we're at home. The pastor over there, you know, the old pastor love to eat. Oh,
yes, Lord.
them pastors and deacons, they love to eat.
And see, your mama was from Mississippi.
See,
so
Vicksburg,
she knew
Mississippi.
What she was doing. You already
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
And my
Biscuits
mama,
from scratch.
my mama would throw down. Those members would come over there, and that pastor would sit at the table, and we all hold hand, and he would pray and bless the food, and he'll dig in there and eat. See, that's a true tradition right there. We got away from a lot of our values
Yes.
Agreed.
that our mothers and father try to pass down to us. And now these kids are so focused on playing a video game than picking up a book and reading it.
Tell it.
Playing
Tell
a
it.
video game.
Secret over here making a little sidebar in here, y'all.
I'm throwing all the shade at
All
my
shade.
children.
I totally agree, though. I do. You don't see a lot of families do that nowadays.
No, you don't.
Sitting down. I grew up in that type of family household. The pastor may not have came over, but Sunday we knew that was the day that we coming home to some chicken.
They don't
No matter
know.
what we ate, it's gonna have chicken.
Ooh, they don't know.
We sit down and we talking and we eating. That's that's how I grew up. So I know what you mean. I'm from the South, so I understand. I'm from Louisiana, so Mississippi ain't that far.
I'm from Arkansas.
So we know.
Yep, I'm country too. I'm definitely country. Yeah.
And with the cleaning, oh yes indeed. Saturdays was our day to clean the house, and my mom and dad didn't play. We had to clean baseboards. And if for y'all that don't know, and I know a lot of y'all don't know, baseboards is that little thin part at the bottom of it that goes around the room that you don't really pay attention to till you go to somebody's house and you see it's dirty, you look down, that's that. So we had to get a bucket and literally clean that when I was younger. So I understand them cleaning up days. Mama put on them old music.
Yep, and you knew what it meant.
You knew what it meant.
You knew.
You better wake it up. Don't act like you sleep and try to fake it because she's coming for you.
Yep.
She gonna fix
get
your
woke
breakfast and you gonna get to cooking and cleaning.
Yep. And that's
still,
it.
you know, still to this day, on Saturdays when I get up, I clean.
Exactly. Me too.
Now
It's just embedded.
It's embedded. That is
I
so
still do
true.
that. Still wash clothes.
See?
And I'm gonna tell you this: my kids are totally different from me. They take their clothes and have their mama wash it. I'm not doing that, baby. Oh no! I wish.
no.
Listen, I hope my kids watch this interview.
See? Throwing shade.
I hope you request me to wash your clothes Because I got a story to tell you.
It's your girl, T Pretty Smile, host of Real Raw Let's Talk. So today we're going to talk about getting you on the show. Now, we're already at the best studio in the DFW. That's A-list photography. But along with that, you're getting JFL, who's the best videography and photography in the game. Okay? Also, with being on the podcast, Terrell Montez, who also is a media influencer, is going to offer you a review at the end where you're going to get a chance to sit with him, chat with him about being on the podcast itself. So if you need your business promo done, inbox me now. You want a review on the podcast and you want to be on the podcast, inbox me that too. Because we got topics to talk about, honey. But are you ready to get real and raw? Do you ever just sit back and kind of just marinate in where you were and where you are now?
Always. And when I look back, sometimes I tear up and sometimes I cry because it's progress. Frederick Douglass said it best: without struggle, there is no progress. So yes, I look back and sometimes it makes me laugh. It really does make me laugh. Just imagine sleeping on the floor. Now you get to sleep in a king bed.
What?
And when you're sleeping in that king bed, you feel like a king.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So
That is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I'm just sitting here thinking about it.
Okay, look, I'm thinking about my bed.
Yeah, I'm sitting here imagining.
You just don't. Sometimes I think the world just need to sit back, especially like us. And when I say us, I mean us. Have been somewhere, some has happened, some things have, transpired, trauma, generational curses, different things of that matter, and just look and see where we've come.
Yes.
And where we got to go, where we still have to go.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And I want to say this because I remember when I was in grammar school, I struggled academically. Middle school, I struggled academically. High school, I struggled academically. And I heard people say, well, he's not college material. You understand? I had a speech impediment, and my brothers and sisters will always work with me. I remember I couldn't say San Francisco. Maybe that's the reason why now I love the word so much. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan.
I see you.
I couldn't say hamburger. I used to say Hermburger. And what really happened is my sister Jackie had told me, you have to tune your ear to listen. You have to tune your ear to listen. And once I started to listen, I began to tune my ear, and my ear began to listen to what she was saying, how people pronounce words, and the ear became tuned, and then I'm able to communicate and pronounce certain words.
Okay.
That's why when I walked into Upper Iowa University, I walked in as a man coming from the inner city, and I had this notion that I'm representing people from the inner city, if you want to call it the hood. And there's only one direction that I could go, and that's up. That's up.
Say that again.
So my degree is not only for me, but it's for my siblings, it's for my nieces and nephews, it's for people in the inner city, to give them hope that if Paul Lamar Hunter can do it, I can do it. Look what he had experienced. He had experienced rejection. He experienced loss. He experienced hurt. He experienced being at the bottom. But look what he did. He walked into an institution and he came out on top.
Victorious.
And you know what? When you talk about how your siblings helped you through your speech impediment, that really makes me think about my children as well. And I'm glad you said that, because it gives me hope for, I have a child with a disability. He has a brain injury, so he's in a wheelchair.
Yes.
And so his siblings are very instrumental in teaching him stuff, including how to burp on demand. Now, that's his new thing he's learned, so he burps all the time. He thinks that's so funny. But they also teach him, how to clothe himself. They try to help him walk, stuff like that. And just seeing it happen is beautiful. But also seeing you and knowing that in the future, what they're doing with him is going to help him. Like how you have this story of victory beyond that speech impediment because of your siblings and their love and care. And so, that's inspiring to me as a mom with a kid with special needs, His siblings help a lot. They help him learn how to talk, how to pronounce his words correctly. Yeah, I know. And that just made me think about that, how important siblings are, I only have one. I got a sister. Shout out to my sister. That's all I got. But,
I know that makes you feel proud. And I'm sure it made your mom feel proud to see, to see that you birthed, your kids and to see you laid the pathway and that they're taking note. And, because most kids, be like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to pout. And then, but, like.
They're literally never like that towards their brother.
Right. Did you experience that as well? Like they were happy to help. You said your siblings, helped you with your speech impairment, things like that. So that was something that you look forward to, and they look forward to helping you.
Yeah. They looked forward to helping me, and that's the reason why I always say this on my interviews. I am grateful for my siblings. I really am.
Do you hear that? They all you got at the end of the day, kids.
Exactly.
I preach that to them. So how did y'all work on teamwork?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because we have an issue with that in my house. It's more of, that's not my room. That's not my area.
Teamwork had to be consistent throughout the Hunter family.
How do you cultivate that?
When my mother and father will assign assignments for us or chores for us to do, if someone finished early, they had to. It was mandatory that they go and help out somewhere else because they wanted us to stay busy. They wanted us to stay busy. And one thing I can say that we had like a football team, a basketball team, a baseball team, a soccer team. So anytime when it came to sports and we were doing family activity, my father and mother would make sure that the team was even with boys and girls.
Okay.
And we had we would play kickball in the back of the yard, had a great time. And sometime we'll lose, sometime we'll win. But they made sure that the team was always even. Volleyball, same thing.
They probably taught a lot of teamwork too.
Yeah, you have to work together. If you look at my story, this is not my success. My success was happening because of instrumental people coming into my life, like my siblings, like pastors, like people in the community.
Yeah.
So, my success is everybody's success because they helped cultivated me to who I am today.
Wow.
That's beautiful. I want to ask before we close, where can they purchase and purchase your book or your mother's book and your handles? How can they contact you on your Instagram? I mean, like, where can they get to know Paul like we did?
Ooh, let me tell you something. If you want to get a hold of my book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child, that book is available at Barnes & Noble's, Amazon.com. Also, I am on social media. My name is Paul Lamar Hunter. My website is paullamarhunter.com. Also, if you want to purchase my mom book, Love and Charity, the life story of Louise Hunter in the Love and Charity Homeless Shelter, you can go get that book at Amazon.com, Barnes & Nobles. That book right there is a dandy. Please go out and get both books. It will change your life.
Please, please, y'all, dive into the book. I'm definitely ready to read. I am. And y'all know I keep it real with everyone. I'm not a reader. So it got to be interesting to catch my mind. And for me to say that I want to read something, that means a lot. So definitely go out, purchase these books, y'all. I have been so grateful for you to come and share your story and share your life with us, because that's exactly what it was. And we learned so much and we shared so much. We had a good time.
Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. I'm using it. Definitely using it.
Thanks so much. And is there anything advice you want to give to someone out there who's experiencing struggles, or like we said before, experience with identity, or have a tough time in their family, is a sibling? What some last words you want to give?
I think the last words I want to share is that I know that everybody in society might be struggling or going through some difficult times in life. Keep in mind that you always got to keep God first and always have a spirit of never giving up. You will experience bad times and good times, but always remember, when those good times happen, take advantage of it. Continue to pray and continue to have a positive mindset. Mama and Daddy used to always say, the storm doesn't last long.
I almost wanted to close my eyes and say, "Man, that was that good." Social Secret, Miss Secret, it has been a pleasure to work with you. You know, I have been wanting to get you in the hot seat for a minute.
Always.
I thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Look, give us your vibe. Talking with Mr. Paul, it has been a joy.
Yes.
So definitely come back. We
Absolutely.
got to have Miss Social Secret back.
We will, and now I know where you are. Okay, now I know where it is.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, truly.
For sure. Give them your handles and where they can contact you and how they can get in contact with you if they want to interview or anything like that. Okay,
yes, I do have an interview series on my Instagram channel. I'm talking to business owners. It's called All Up in Your Business. So if you're interested in letting me get in your business, then please inbox me on Instagram at The Social Secret, TheSocialSecret.
Okay.
Because people be spelling my name wrong. They do. I know, it's crazy. But yeah, find me on IG. I'm on LinkedIn and on YouTube at The Social Secret. And yeah, get at me. Also, if you need help with social media as a business owner, I can help you.
Baby, you put a key in to be the shame. You S-O-C, I can't even look mine out.
S-O-C.
Y'all tune in to this episode. Make sure y'all watch. Comment below so we can get these two back in, okay? Into the studio. And always, we appreciate A-List Studios. We out. Real Raw. Let's talk.